Hello everyone, today I'm here to discuss the digital landscape of Catz Coffee Co. and emphasize the critical role of risk management in cybersecurity to protect our key assets and ensure uninterrupted business operations. Here is my team: G, Senior Cybersecurity Consultant; Anjali, Risk Mitigation Specialist; Jiki, Cyber Operations Consultant; Niladri, Risk Management Consultant; and me, Sai Mohit, Cybersecurity Consultant. G will take on from here and explain about our network architecture diagram and about its components.
This is network layout diagram of Catz Coffee. It has a headquarter that runs several applications like ERP, CRM, and also it maintains a master data warehouse. The coffee shop itself has an on-premises IT infrastructure. There's a server rack, runs several VMs and containers. It connects to the internet through SD-WAN link. It also connects to PoE access switches, uh, which connect basically everything of the coffee shop, like IP speakers, Docker reader, HD TV, receipt printers, surveillance IP cameras, and the mesh APs, which is used for customer internet access. So this is the network architecture analysis. So basically, the headquarters serves as the central hub, and it connects to the coffee shop um, for data exchange. So there will be the data pipeline between the coffee shop and the headquarters. Also, the headquarters has several other data pipelines connecting to the vendors for inventory, supply chain, central kitchen. This slide is for identifying the inherent risks. Um, so here we can see we probably facing unauthorized data access, and the data pipeline between the headquarter and the vendor partner could also be compromised, and the data transferred between different sites could be intercepted by hacker, and we are also seeing it. There's a possibility of data corruption um, in the HQ about the master data warehouse. So this is a table for inherent risk analysis. Um, First, we can see that unauthorized access to the system. So this is the category is confidentiality, and the risk level is medium. It's internal. Um, it's a internal risk, and it's man-made, and it is it should be intentional. And others are like interception of data between the coffee shop side and the HQ. Like I said, there are several data pipelines between each other. So sometimes if there's like a wrong network connection or configuration, there's a risk of data being intercepted by third party. And also compromise the vendor or partner pipeline to be accessed by hacker, and the master data warehouse. It could be also suffering from corruptions, like power outage or hardware failure. Mm. The next one is a synchronization of over problematic connections between central and remote databases because there is data pipelines uh, s- being synced between different sites. Also, we can see it's the category is in integrity and the risk level is medium, and it should be internal man-made accidental risk. Next one is malware, compromising PCI DSS transaction integrity because a customer probably will not only use cash but also credit cards in the coffee shop. So in this case, we are facing the PCI DSS transaction integrity risk. Next is the DDoS attack on the website, which might cause service disruption because the coffee shop has a website and malicious hacker probably could initiate a DDoS attack on the website. So in that case, the website will be unavailable for public access. So it's it should be classified as availability risk, and the risk level is pretty high because DDoS attack is kind of popular. And the next one is a failure of WLAN controller VM um, affecting coffee shop side operations because customer use the Wi-Fi to access the internet in the coffee shop. If the wireline controller VM is down, probably we will suffer some business operation difficulties. The last one is a natural disaster to the infrastructure at coffee shop side. Um, it's issue. It is its category is availability, and the risk level is medium. It's external risk, and it's should be accidental, natural risk. So that's all of the part of network diagrams part.
Thank you, G. My name is Anjali, and I'll be taking over from here. On the basis of inherent risk analysis, which G just explained, following are the controls which should be implemented for the Catz coffee co. This chart shows the controls, its type, whereas if the control should be automated or manual. The first control here is solid access control and RBAC. It can prevent unauthorized access to ERP, CRM, and monitoring systems. It's a preventive control type. Moving on to next one. VPN tunnels as well as strong encryption can prevent the interception of data between coffee shop and headquarter office. The next is strict access with SAML, whereas least privilege can prevent compromise of vendor or partner access. Moving on to next, regular data backups and checksums can prevent corruption of data in master data warehouse. SD-WAN with good enough bandwidth may prevent the risk of synchronization or problematic connection between central and remote database. Anti-malware software GPO security policy inheritance can prevent malware compromising PCI DSS transaction integrity. The DDoS attack service disruption can be corrected by CDN, which is Content Delivery Network, or black hole routing. It's a corrective control type. Failure of WAN controller can be prevented by high availability for configuration and fault tolerant system. Hybrid cloud solutions for disaster recovery can be implemented in case of natural disasters. Now, even with controls, Following are the residual risk for our Catz Coffee Co. The first is even with RBAC implementation, rogue admins can sabotage the system. The residual risk are the risk which can take place even with the control in the place. So even with RBAC implementations, rogue admins can always sabotage the systems. The risk value is medium, whereas likelihood is medium and impact would be high for the residual risk. In case of VPN tunnel or strong encryption, VPN configurations and radius keys could be exported and compromised accidentally. The third is in case of SAML, which is Security Assertion Markup Language, its configuration could be changed unexpectedly and modified by rogue admins. Even with the regular backups, there is always a possibility that the backup could fail to read. CE devices, which is consumer electronic devices, could malfunction anytime while using. You can also see the risk is low for the following residual risk. The likelihood is medium, whereas the risk is whereas the impact is low. Sorry. In case of GPO security policies, the GPO sync could fail or be delayed. For CDN control, the bandwidth sometimes might not be enough to handle the DDoS traffic, whereas policy-based routing could also be misconfigured. Even with high availability configuration, the VM migration could fail due to insufficient hardware resource. And the last would be hybrid cloud solutions. They cannot be trusted fully as the company could face unexpected service outage. The likelihood of this happening would be low, but if this happens, the impact would always be high. Moving on to the next slide, implementing mitigation controls. So the controls which we just saw, implementing them would be the first control would be access control. Implementing robust access control, including role-based access control, which is RBAC, and multi-factor authentication, would prevent unauthorized access to critical systems and data. The second is secure communication. Establishing secure virtual private network, which is VPN tunnels with strong encryption, it could protect data in transit between the coffee shop sites and the headquarter office, ensuring the confidentiality and integrity of the communication. The third is identity and access management. Deploying a centralized identity and access management solution, leveraging security asset markup language for federated authentication and enforcing the principle for least privilege to minimize the risk of unauthorized access. The next would be enhancing data protection. So data backups, wide area network optimization, and endpoint protection would enhance the data protection for our coffee shop. Data backups would be implementing a robust data backup strategy, including regular backups of critical data, maintaining off-site storage, and regularly verifying the inherent integrity of the data through checksum verification. This measures safeguards against data loss and data corruption. Wide area network optimization, deploying a software-defined wide area network, which is SD-WAN solution to ensure reliable and efficient data transmission between the coffee shop site and the headquarter office. This includes features like bandwidth optimization, data comprehension, and WAN acceleration, enhanced performance, and resilience. Lastly, endpoint protection. Deploying comprehensive endpoint protection, including anti-malware software, and enforcing security policies through group policy objects, GPOs. This measure helps mitigate the risk of malware compromising the integrity of transaction and data. Thank you. And the next slide will be continued by my group head.
Hi guys, I'm Ziki. Let's focus on our cost analysis. Our first control is solid access control and RBAC, which short for role-based access control. The initial investment for this control is 20,000 with annual maintenance cost of 5,000. You can see before this control, the estimated annual financial impact of the risk was 15,000, but with this control in place, the impact of the impact reduced to 10,000. This result in a net benefit of 50,000 annually, and showing the value of the good access control system. And the second control involves security communications through VPN tunnels and strong encryption. The one-time cost is 15,000 with annual cost 30,000, and before the cost, the estimated impact was 30,000, but it was just dropped to 5,000 with the control, which also showing a very importance of security our network communication. Well, next we have two control on these slides, and the first one focused on the strict access and using security assertion makeup languages, which is SAML, and the periodic dots, while the second deal with the regular data backup and the checksum. Both of the controls have significant initial cost, but are very important for data integrity and secure access. You can see that the SAML with the one-time cost of 25,000 and with annual cost of 8,000, and well, although you can say that the benefit is minor, it is negative, but from our break-even analysis, there's only 4 years to the break-even point. Only 2 years to the break-even point. And the next and the next control is regular data backup. You can see that a one-time cost is $10,000 and annual cost is 3,000. And yes, it is very benefit to the to our whole project. And next one is the when next one is the showing the covers two controls that focus on network optimizing and endpoint protection. SD when in the data compressions, you can see that the one-time cost is 30,000 with an annual cost of 10,000, and which is resulting in active net annual benefit. But like we said, that it's only 2 years to the break even point, so it is a benefit from the long term. And next one is for the anti-malware software, and using this control can provide a significant reduction in risk of malware infection and security breach. Um, yeah, even though it's benefit though.
Thank you, Ziki. I'm Neeladri. As we all know, effective risk management is critical in today's digital landscape to safeguard assets and ensure business continuity. Risk assessment methodology and findings, like we followed the NIST SP 830 methodology for our risk assessment. We identified 15 critical assets valued at 2.5 million and assessed 20 potential threats and 25 vulnerabilities. Using a 5 into 5 risk matrix, we determine the likelihood and impact of risks, prioritize high level risks that require immediate attention. Overall, Cat's Coffee course risk posture is moderate with significant opportunities for improvement. And also, high priority risks and recommended controls. Some of the high priority risks we identified include unauthorized access to sensitive data, malware infections, phishing attacks, and unpatched software vulnerabilities. To address, we recommend implementing strong access controls with multi factor authentication, deploying advanced endpoint protection and email filtering, as well as conducting regular security awareness training for employees because it is foremost thing in the current world. Establishing a robust patch management process is also well known thing and also very important. Coming to risk management is going on process that requires continuous monitoring to identify and address new risks because it is very much important to know everyone and as well as like all should be aware of it. Next, we recommend quarterly risk assessments, monthly control audits, and fostering a culture of security awareness through training and communication. Involvement from stakeholders across IT, security, legal, and executive teams is crucial. Regular reviews and updates to security policies and procedures are so essential. Adding to, by implementing the recommended controls and prioritizing a proactive approach to risk management, Cat's Coffee Co. can significantly strengthen its security posture and protect its critical assets. We encourage the organization to allocate necessary resources and make security a top priority, which is an important thing for us. Together, we can enhance the resilience of the company's IT infrastructure. Thank you, and followed by Mohit.
Hi all, let's come back to high priority risk and recommended controls. High priority risk. We have unauthorized access to sensitive data. This risk involves unauthorized individuals gaining access to confidential information, which can lead to data breaches, theft, or misuse. Unauthorized access can occur due to weak access controls, compromised credentials, and insider threats. Malware infections. Malware such as virus, trojans, and ransomware can affect the organization system, leading to data corruption, system downtime, and potential data loss. Malware can enter the network through various channels, including email attachments, infected websites, or removable media and social media platforms. Phishing attacks. Phishing is a social engineering technique used by attackers to trick employees into revealing sensitive information such as login credentials or financial data. Phishing attacks often come in the form of deceptive emails or websites that appear legitimate but are designed to steal information. Unpatched software vulnerabilities. Software vulnerabilities are weaknesses in applications or operating systems that can be exploited by attackers to gain unauthorized access, execute malicious code, or cause system crashes. Unpatched vulnerabilities pose a significant risk as they provide a gateway for attackers to compromise the organization systems. The recommended controls for these types of risk are implement strong access controls and multi-factor authentication to mitigate the risk of of authorized access, the organization should implement robust access controls such as strong password policies that enforce complexity, length, and regular updates. Role-based access controls to ensure that users only have access to the resources they need to perform their job functions. Multi-factor authentication to add an extra layer of security, requiring users to provide additional verification such as phone app, hardware token, or a specified code for the employees beyond just with the password. Deploy advanced endpoint protection and email filtering to protect against malware infections and phishing attacks. The organization should deploy advanced endpoint protection solutions such as antivirus software, firewalls, and intrusion detection prevention systems on all the devices. Implement email filtering solutions that can detect and block all the suspicious emails, attachments, and links. Use web filtering to prevent access to non-malicious websites and domains, and conduct regular security awareness training for employees. Human error is often a significant factor in security incidents. To reduce the risk, the organization should provide regular security awareness training to all the employees covering topics such as identifying phishing emails, safe browsing habits, and proper handling of sensitive data. Conduct a simulated phishing exercise to test employees' ability to recognize and report suspicious emails. Encourage the culture of security awareness where employees feel comfortable reporting potential security incidents. Establish a robust patch management process to address the risk. Establish a formal patch management process that includes regular monitoring for new patches and updates. Prioritize deployment of critical security patches based on severity of the vulnerability and the potential impact on the organization. Test patches in non-production environment before deploying them to productions to ensure compatibility and minimize disruption. Maintain an inventory of all the systems to ensure that no assets are overlooked during the patching process. Continuous monitoring and improvement. As a cybersecurity expert, I cannot stress enough the importance of continuous monitoring and improvement in our risk management strategy. In today's rapidly evolving threat landscape, we must remain vigilant and proactive in identifying and addressing new risks. I recommend the following. Conduct quarter risk assessment to reassess our risk posture and identify any new threats or vulnerabilities that may have emerged. This will allow us to adjust our controls and prioritize our efforts accordingly. Perform monthly control audits to ensure that our implemented controls are functioning as intended and are actively mitigating the identified risk. Regular audits will help us identify any gaps or weakness in our controls and take corrective action promptly. Foster a culture of security awareness through ongoing training and communication. Our employees are our first line of defense in a threats, and it's crucial that they understand their role in maintaining the security of our systems and data. We should provide regular training sessions, share real-world examples of security incidents, and encourage open communication about potential security concerns. Involve stakeholders from various teams, including IT, finance, legal, and human resources, in a risk management process. Cybersecurity is not just an IT issue, it affects every aspect of our business. By engaging stakeholders from different departments, we can ensure that our risk management strategy aligns with our overall business objectives and that everyone is working together towards a common goal. Regularly review and update our security policies and procedures to reflect our changes in our risk landscape, industry best practices, and regulatory requirements. Our policy should be living documents that evolve as our organization grows and process face new challenges. Next steps to call to action. Now that we have identified high priority risk and recommended controls, it's time to take action. Here are the next steps we should take. Implement the recommended controls of high priority risks within the next 90 days. Time is of the essence, and we cannot afford to delay in addressing these critical vulnerabilities. Assign responsibility for each control to a specific team member and establish clear timelines for implementation. This will ensure accountability and help us track the progress towards our risk management goals. Conduct a follow-up of risk assessment in the next 6 months or 3 months to evaluate the effectiveness of our implemented controls, identify any new risks that may have emerged. Continuous assessment is key to staying ahead of evolving threats. Collaborate with stakeholders across the organization to ensure that everyone understands their role in maintaining the security of our systems and data. Cybersecurity should be a top priority for every member of our team. Make security a top priority, and dedicate the necessary resources to implement and maintain our risk management strategy. This may require additional investments in technology, training, and personnel, but the long term benefits of a robust security posture far outweigh the costs. Recommendations and conclusion. Based on risk assessment and cost benefit analysis, I recommend that we prioritize the implementation of three high impact controls: solid access control and role based access control to ensure that users only have access to the resources they need to perform their job functions and minimize the risk of unauthorized access. Secure communication and encryption to protect the confidentiality and integrity of data, both in transit and at rest. Comprehensive data backup and recovery to ensure that we can quickly restore our systems uh, in data the event of a security incident disaster. By implementing this control, organization can significantly reduce its inherent risk and enhance the overall resilience for its cybersecurity. And it's not just about mitigating one or two risks, which are very important, but it is also about mitigating every risk which is a potential threat to the business. Why? Because when it comes to cybersecurity, we cannot be sure about what is small and what is a bigger threat. Every threat has a significant value which can lead to a bigger fire. So this is our team strategy for implementing the risk assessment for Catz Coffee and Co. Hope you're having hope you had a great presentations and we are open for questions. The only condition is with a Catz cup of coffee. We love coffee at catscoffee.co. Thank you.